Was the Crash Bandicoot Worlds leak true? Are any of the leaks that we have seen true? Or could there be something interesting happening? I have a theory, so let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I know this video is going to be a heyday for the critics. I'm going to admit, up front, this video in concept is a little crazy. I'm not going to lie to you, but something has been nagging at me. Something that hit me like a truck in all one shot, and I wanted to share it with you all. Now again, this is a theory. It's not fact. We take facts and try to fill in the missing information to string together a concept that has one cohesive thought. So of course this video could be debunked a day, a week, or a year from now. But I really wanted to get this out on paper. And if you're watching, I guess I made it into a video. Over the past year, many of us had been on the hunt and looking for Crash Bandicoot news and hints. In gaming, sometimes you can find accidental hints for future projects and mechanics by browsing the internet. That's what a lot of us in the Crash and Spyro hint hunting community do. There have been some interesting nuggets of information that have popped up, both intentionally and unintentionally, that has allowed us to craft together an interesting picture to what the next Crash game in 2020 is going to look like. Now recently I made a video that pointed to a leak that the gaming revolution had. The gaming revolution is known for his Call of Duty leaks. Now of course, he originally stated that Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex was going to get remade, which contradicted literally everything that we had found over the past year in terms of little nuggets of information and hints. I even made a video talking about it and how the leak didn't make sense. I sent him an image to explain why we believe that this was not a Wrath of Cortex remake. Then, a day or two later, he came forward and clarified his statement and said, quote, "Update on this. I think I jumped the gun on the Wrath of Cortex remaster, and it may actually be a new Crash 4 installment." He went on to clarify further in saying, quote, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it's my bad, we had some miscommunication." So, great, it's not a Wrath of Cortex remaster. I'm happy to hear that. There was a confusion and miscommunication between the leaker and the gaming revolution. But then, something hit me. Something that all rushed to me in a single moment. A single epiphany that made me literally, physically freeze. The epiphany was this. Every single major leak, previously assumed as true or current, has been connected in some way to Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. Time to hit that rewind button because we're going back 3 months to the very first viral Crash 2020 leak. Out of nowhere, this 4chan leak popped up that had people losing their minds over. Now, it didn't help that Magaska, a fantastic Crash artist, made a concept piece for fun, and people were taking it and using it as evidence and proof that this was real. But the leak went on to basically say that there would be new masks, would be similar to the semi-open world gameplay of Mario 3D World, would be developed by Vicarious Visions and Toys for Bob, and give some details about some of the enemies. Now, there was a bunch of inconsistencies in the leak, like the fact that it was apparently going to be announced in December 2019. But one of the things that I had previously said to disprove this leak was that it was called Crash Bandicoot Worlds, which was actually the prototype name initially for Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. Connection number 1. Now, you can 100% discredit this leak, in fact even I did, but at least remember the Crash Bandicoot Worlds detail. Now, back in November of 2019, about a month or so later, viewer Anon, who is a verified leaker of the film industry, decided to scoop into a new industry due to a conversation that they had with someone apparently close with the Crash Bandicoot 2020 project. He went on to explain that there would be multiple masks with special abilities, and that you would get to play Cortex in certain levels to reveal how the level was set up before Crash got there. They then went on to say that the gameplay and progression system was described as Super Mario Bros. 3/World, where there are themed worlds and individual themed levels in each one. This leak was also backed by Sabi, another person who has a lot of connections in the industry, who claimed the exact same thing as viewer Anon. But doesn't this leak sound familiar with some of the buzzwords? Again, multiple masks, a concept used in Wrath of Cortex and is something that was seen in the previous 4chan post. Also, the same buzzword as to how the game works similar to a Mario title. You might discredit the first leak, but there are a lot of similar aspects between both of them. This is connection number 2. Now, I just made a video about this, but the Gaming Revolution, who has leaked other Activision products before, which is mainly Call of Duty, came forward and said that he was told that there was a Wrath of Cortex remaster on the way. But after talking to their source, they said that there was a miscommunication and that it's possible it's a brand new Crash game. But before this was cleared up, when Jason Schreier, a reporter from Kotaku who is known to have inside scoops on games, was asked about his thoughts on this initial leak, he commented, "Oh man," insinuating that there is truth to what Gaming Revolution said, even though there was a miscommunication. Afterwards, he stated that it was going to be Crash Bandicoot 4, which in terms of mainline games, Wrath of Cortex would be considered as the original Crash 4 because neither CTR and Crash Bash were titles that fall in the mainline Crash story. So again, the same game number and the original title, the Wrath of Cortex, pops up. That's connection number 3. Out of these leaks, we keep getting the same buzzwords, the same themes, and similar information. Now, I want to rewind back to Crash Bandicoot Worlds. And no, I don't mean Wrath of Cortex. I mean the original concept of Crash Bandicoot Worlds. See, back in the day, Mark Cerny, an extremely intelligent designer, programmer, and producer for Sony, was originally the designer for the original Crash trilogy and was supposed to design a semi-open world Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 2. Traveler's Tales was hired to create a 3D demo to present as a work-in-progress concept. The game was titled Crash Bandicoot Worlds. The original plan was that Crash was going to travel to different planets that had different themed levels around it. Wait, doesn't that sound familiar too? Again, back to viewer Anon's tweet. Themed worlds with individual levels in each. Also note, the word that he uses, worlds. Worlds with levels in them. Again, sounding like the Crash Bandicoot Worlds concept. Unfortunately, Sony and Universal had a falling out with each other and Mark Cerny left the project. With him leaving, all the work that Traveler's Tales had made was just dumpstered and they had 12 months to make a new game. This is why Wrath of Cortex was made and it hit a lot of sour notes within the fanbase. Now, I mentioned 3 connections, but there's a 4th one, Luna Luna. Well, I'm not sure if that's her name or not, but we keep talking about her, so that's why I'm going to call her. Luna Luna shows up in the PlayStation commercial in the CTR section. This is her first appearance as we have not seen a mask like hers before. But if Crash was supposed to travel from planet to planet, then there would be a lot of space themes and concepts involved in the game, right? Well, look no further. If you look close, you can see that the top of her head has the entire lunar cycle, hence the nickname that we decided to give her, Luna Luna. So once again, we have another connection to the original Crash Bandicoot project, Crash Bandicoot Worlds. Now, am I saying that the next game is going to be named Crash Bandicoot Worlds, that they are digging up the original concept and putting a modern spin to create what some would say would be the true Crash Bandicoot 4? No. What I am saying is that if specific people are receiving information, the people who have credibility to their name are saying very similar things that relate to each other. This seems like a classic case of people looking at the same abstract image and seeing similar elements but getting different information. This, along with the common game of broken telephone that happens commonly among leakers and, well, people in general, some details could be added and or missed. So my theory is this. If these leaks, or whatever you want to call them, are real, then the next Crash game will be Crash Bandicoot 4, and it might be a complete reimagining of Wrath of Cortex, combined with elements from the original concept of Crash Bandicoot Worlds, along with Vicarious Vision's twist to make it their own. Could the codename just be Crash Bandicoot Worlds and is not the actual title of the game? Of course. Could this all be baloney? Yes, it very much could be, but the point I'm trying to make, again, is that multiple sources are relaying information that all connects. This could be all lies from Activision themselves to throw people off. Who knows? The only thing to do now is to wait and see what happens. Would you like to see a Crash Bandicoot Worlds game or concept? Let me know in the comment section below. A huge thank you to all those who support the channel through Patreon and being a sponsor on the channel. If you'd like to help it out, check out the links in the description below, where you can buy some CGE merch or become a Patreon. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming and nostalgic content. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.